Hi, I am Angela Kenbok, and this is my intervention interview for interviewing skills with Dr. Robinson. And the intervention stage initiates actions to keep working towards goals, helps clients resolve their problems while advocating for them at the same time. Um, Using the strengths perspective to bring out the positive personality and rules that the clients have, and also going over their treatment plan and contract once again in order to keep working towards those goals. Hi, Joe. How are you doing today?
Great. I've actually had a really good week. How are you?
I've been good, Joe. Thank you for asking. That's fantastic that you've had such a great week. Any significant events that made it so great?
Well, yes, I got a raise on Tuesday. It's a huge relief to have the extra income. Now my wife doesn't have to work as much to pay off debt.
Congrats, that's really awesome news, and it's wonderful to hear that your wife won't have to work as often.
Yeah, for sure. During my active addiction, I blew through almost all of our savings and maxed out quite a few credit cards. My wife never complained or showed anger towards me, but instead picked up two part-time jobs to help pay things off. It made me feel really guilty.
Unfortunately, addiction will steal all of your money when it can. But your wife seems very educated on the disease, and I'm sure she really understands.
Yeah, she does, but I still can't help but to feel bad. We had such a comfortable life, but because of my addiction, I threw most of it away.
Just keep positive. Although the past will always be part of your life, it has made you a better person. Hard work pays off, and because of your hard work at your job, you earned yourself a promotion, allowing your wife to be able to quit one of her part-time jobs. That's wonderful news, and that's something that you really should be proud of, Joe.
You're right, I am very proud. I'm excited for the opportunities to come along with it too. And I know my wife is sincerely happy for me.
Congrats again, Joe. I really am happy for you. Anything else that happened this week? How's your anxiety been?
Well, my anxiety's been pretty good this week. I made sure to use some of the coping skills we talked about last week, and journaling really helps me calm down when my anxiety starts to get worse. Monday was somewhat a stressful day because my wife worked all day and I had to take the kids to school, doctor appointments, and activities. There's a lot of running around and I was rushed the whole day, so that kind of made my anxiety go up some. At one point, I just pulled into a parking lot and did some breathing exercises. Then I did some bullet journaling and jotted down some things that were going through my mind. After a few minutes, I felt a lot calmer, and it made the rest of my day go by much more smoothly.
Joe, that's so amazing to hear. I'm really glad that you put some of those coping skills to use that we talked about and that they helped you get through that anxiety in that moment on your own. See, you completed one of your goals that you were so nervous about setting without even really thinking about it.
That's true. I didn't even think about meeting a goal. Wow, that makes me feel good to think of it that way.
Eventually, it will all come very naturally to use all of your coping skills and things that you learn throughout our service plan together. Working together will make your anxiety not appear to be such a scary thing. And speaking of journaling, I did read through some of your journal entries.
You did? What did you think?
Well, I noticed you journaled most when you were given responsibilities from your wife and your family. It seemed like when she asked you to do household chores or errands or participate in something with the kids, that set off some anxious feelings. How do you feel hearing that?
Hmm. Kind of makes sense, I guess.
How so?
Well, I think because I constantly feel like I have to prove something to her. It's not her fault whatsoever, but during my addiction, I did a lot of hurtful, mean things. I just always feel like I need to do everything perfect for her and my family because I owe it to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely does make sense. I'm sure your wife understands how deep addiction can take an individual. She seems very accepting of the disease and the lifestyle of recovery that you two have built together as a team. Just because addiction took over you doesn't mean you aren't a caring, hardworking, and loving person. You mentioned before that your boss has always been supportive too. So your wife, your boss, they still saw you through all of those obstacles.
You're right. I need to keep reminding myself that the disease made me a stronger person, even though the memories aren't the best to look back on sometimes.
You absolutely are a stronger person because of it. I believe anxiety comes hand in hand with recovery, and it's a normal feeling to experience. However, once you are reminded of your strengths and coping skills, you can push through that anxiety a lot easier. You mentioned in one of our first sessions together of how strong your determination was. Do you remember that? Are you starting to see yourself as a more positive, stronger person?
Yeah, I definitely do. It's definitely a task to remind myself of my self-worth, but I hope with enough motivation and follow-through that it will be something I don't have to search for on a daily basis.
It will become easier, I promise you that. You will get stronger through each event, situation, obstacle, and every goal that we set together. Success will become easier for you to accept as an individual as well. Instead of always doubting yourself or feeling guilty about your past, you will start to look forward to the future and accept yourself as a genuine human being who's working on bettering themselves one day at a time. Addiction doesn't have a cure, but with recovery, anything is possible. You got to keep up that great work, Joe.
Thank you so much. I will. I really appreciate you advocating for me and believing in me.
You don't need to thank me. Next week, let's focus a little more on your journaling, and we can transition to a new coping skill to start applying when needed. How does that sound to you?
Good. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Great. I'll see you next week, Joe.